which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not to have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha Chepa conference call. Let us move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्ण विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Daksha Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Prabhuji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all glories to assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Tiffany Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. This is Kamadiki Dasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Komadiki Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shama Gauri Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Radharani Devidasi from Baltimore. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radharani Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Oh, glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all assembled devotees. Guru Maharaj ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. This is Shivani from Ashram Jannah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvi Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gopika Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Raj from Canada.
Hare Krishna Raj Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Prabhu for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees on the call. All glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Anita Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Gurudev and the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Qatar.
Hare Krishna Shiromani Nandarani Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining regularly and giving your assistance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karuna Devi Dasi from Lincoln. Mataji Maharaj has joined.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Induleka Karuna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardan Swami Maharaj to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 5th Canto 12th Chapter verse 7. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Maharaj for your valuable time and your association this morning. I would like to hand over it to Tiffany Mataji for your brief introduction. Maharaj, please give us a minute. Please, Tiffany Mataji, take over.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardan Swami Maharaj was born in the Philippines. Maharaj is a senior disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami. He joined ISKCON in the year 1984 in Toronto, Canada. And when Maharaj was about 14 years old, he started to get curious about spirituality. And that's when he came in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books. As Maharaj became more and more interested in Srila Prabhupada's books, he insisted his mother get him Bhagavad Gita. However, at that time, he was not able to receive the Gita by mail. When he moved to Canada in 1980, he could successfully get his first Bhagavad Gita by mail from Los Angeles. Once Maharaj arrived in Toronto in 1984, he visited a temple and never left ISKCON after that. He started to live in the temple on rent rather than staying outside, and that's how Maharaj got involved in temple services. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj recommended making Maharaj a member of the Vrindavan Executive Board, and so Maharaj has been serving as vice president in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, India for more than 12 years, forgive me. Maharaj is an excellent Kirtaniya. He travels with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and all over the world to preach Krishna consciousness, especially in Delhi, Vrindavan, and the Philippines. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good afternoon from Vrindavan. I know it is morning over there, or more likely it's getting evening here, almost 5 o'clock. So, yes, thank you again for your kindness to invite me into your Bhakti Sangha Japa group. This is a privilege for me to be part of your program on a regular basis. I wish you all, first of all, happy advance Lalita Sashti. Like in 2 days, it'll be Lalita Sakhi's appearance day. And 2 days after that will be the holy appearance day of Srimati Radharani. So we're all hyped up here in Vrindavan, preparing for that very auspicious day where we'll be glorifying the Queen of Vrindavan, Vrindavanishwari. And yes, happy advance Radhastami to everyone. If you like, I can mention a little bit about Lalita Devi in the end, just sentence or two about who she is, with your permission, if that is okay.
Yes, Maharaj, please.
Okay, so we'll start now. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodhanandana Raja Janaranjana. Sodanandana Raja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tiravana Yamuna Tiravana Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sirade Jai Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Sirade Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Sirade Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jai Gauranitai 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 Jai Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hare Krishna. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Gaura Krishna Vishnu Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatyadi Sakarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshoram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaisnavam Scha Serupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabhadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kipasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 12, Text number 7. This is a conversation between Tata and Maharaj Rahugana. Sochang imang stang adikasta dinan Vitsya nignang niragraho si Janasya goptasmi vikritam vano Naso base brida sabasho drishta Sochang imam stang adikshastadinam Vischa nigrinam nirano grahavosi Janasya goptasmi vikatamano Nasya gopasmi vikatamano Naso base bridha sabaso drishta. Word for word meaning, Sochan, lamentable, Imam, all this, Twam, you, Adi Kastadinan, poor persons, suffering more pains because of their poverty-stricken position, Vistya, by force, Nigrinan, seizing, Niranugraha, you have no mercy in your heart. Janasya, of the people in general. Gupta Ashmi, I am the protector, king. Vikatamana, bragging. Na sobase, you do not look very good. Vridha Shabashu, in the society of learned persons. Drishta, simply impudent. Translation. It is a fact that these innocent people carrying your palanquin without payment are certainly suffering due to injustice. Their condition is very lamentable because you have forcibly engaged them in carrying your palanquin. This proves that you are cruel and unkind. Yet, due to false prestige, you were thinking that you were protecting the citizens. This is ludicrous. You were such a fool that you could not have been adored as a great man in an assembly of persons advanced in knowledge. Purport. King Rahugana was proud of being king, and he felt he had the right to control the citizens as he liked, but actually he was engaging men in carrying his palanquin without payment. Therefore, he was causing them trouble without reason. Nonetheless, the king was thinking that he was the protector of these citizens. Actually, the king should be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For this reason, he is called Nara Devata, the Lord among human beings. However, when a king thinks that because he is the head of the state, he can utilize the citizens for his sense gratification, he is in error. Such an attitude is not appreciated by learned scholars. According to the Vedic principles, the king should be advised by learned sages, brahmanas, and scholars who advise him according to the injunctions given in the Dharma Sastra. The duty of the king is to follow these instructions. Learned circles do not appreciate the king's utilizing public endeavor for his own benefit. His duty is to give protection to the citizens instead. The king should not become such a rogue that he exploits the citizens for his own benefit. So as we can see here, even though when this episode in the Bhagavatam occurred, it is not Kali Yuga. But even though it is not Kali Yuga, the signs of what will be most prevalent amongst the leaders of our society is being now sampled by King Rahugana. King Rahugana is well versed in the sastras, but he's not able to apply it properly. That's why he's being woken up by Jadabharat. King Rahugana, even though he's supposed to be the protector of his citizens, but he is taking advantage for his own benefit, for his own sense enjoyment, the citizens that needs to be protected. The number one duty of the king or a leader is to protect his subjects and ultimately to make them become fully Krishna conscious. And that's why it says in the Sastra, no one should be a guru, no one should be a king, no one should be a father if he's not able to liberate his subjects from the cycle of repeated birth and death. The king is supposed to be, or the leader of the society, like nowadays we call him as president or prime minister, but in some places in the world, they're still, they're called kings, like Kingdom of Thailand. Or in Nepal, they're still like having kings, but they don't have so much power. Ultimately, nowadays, the leader, they exploit their subjects. They have forgotten their welfare, and care for them is very minimal, if nothing at all. Even in a democratic country, like United States or some parts of Europe, North America, people are given so much freedom, but the freedom is being misused by the citizens. They're not really being guided properly, accordingly. Being a representative of the Supreme Lord, this is the king or the leader of the country or of his nation, is supposed to be representative of the Supreme Lord. He is Nara Devata, the Lord among human beings. If he is following the care and attention and love for his countrymen, actually he is the leader, but he is supposed to be servant leader. The king or the president, the monarchs, even in the early days, that means in the Vedic times, they are ideal representatives of the Supreme Lord. They provide everything for the benefit of everyone. No one is what you call jobless. No one is homeless. No one is poverty-stricken. Everyone is fully engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. The Brahmanas, the Satriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Sudras. Sudras means the general class of people, the workers. They serve the upper three classes in the society, And everyone is happy because whatever tax that's being asked from them to pay, the citizens, the government puts it back to the citizens. There's ample food, minerals, natural resources, everything that one may need. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, of all of the monarchs, I am King Prithu. King Prithu is also an unempowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He was a Sakchavesh avatar, and during his time, of course, before King Prithu appeared, there was this King Vina, very atrocious, very cruel, that during his childhood, while playing, sometimes if he doesn't like his playmate, he would kill him. And then when he became in the position of becoming a king, then even the rogues and the thieves and the gundas and all these unwanted people in the society, they will fled. They will go run away because they were so afraid of King Vina. Unlike nowadays, it's so rampant. All of this unwanted class in society, the thieves, the the unwanted personalities, those who create troubles, they take advantage because the king or the leader or the president is not so strict, not following any process whereby to help everyone's consciousness to become Krishna conscious or God conscious. So after King Vina, King Prithu appeared. He manifests from one of the limbs of the body of King Vina, and same with Archie, his queen. And then they ruled the planet Earth. But because of the Mother Earth, she was afraid of, and no sacrifices. Yeah, because King Vina, he stopped all the sacrifices, all the ceremonies, ritualistic ceremonies meant to please the Supreme Lord, the Vedic sacrifices. King Vina stopped all the Brahmanas, all of their activities, and therefore Mother Earth, she withdrew all of these different elements that will provide nourishment for the living beings, especially in human platform. No vegetables, no fruits, no natural resources and minerals. And King Prithu, he understood that this is the fault of King Vina, and therefore he wanted the Mother Earth to again provide all of this, and she willingly provided all of them by giving all of this back to the planet Earth, all the food, natural elements, minerals, natural resources, fruits, and all the things that will make the citizens be sustained, be happy, because if there is no food, then how will they be surviving? And during King Prithu's time, it says that if one does not want to die, then no one will die. This is how prosperous, how ideal to be in that era of King Prithu. So King Yudhishthira also is an ideal king. Ideal because he is always, naturally, he is a follower of Lord Krishna. Whatever Lord Krishna will tell him to do, he will follow. They know Dharma Shastra. They know the law book for men. They implement the law for men. That's why you have this Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita, this is a law book by Manu to share to the living entities, especially this is where the man name came from. Manu, man, or humankind, that if they follow this laws of nature, laws of God, then one will become prosperous, one will become healthy, and one can live a very long life, peaceful and happy life. So nowadays, are the people happy? Are the people living long life? Or it is the opposite? People are frustrated. People are not so happy. They're making so many protests and they don't have trust in the government for the reason that because the government, especially the leaders, the kings or the presidents or the prime ministers, they're not doing their duty properly. According to the Srimad Bhagavatam, in Kali Yuga, those who are so-called leaders, they're the ones who will be the plunderers and thieves. Yes, it says here, continuation of the purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga, the heads will be plunderers and thieves. These thieves and plunderers take the money and property of the public by force or connivance. Therefore, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Rajanyai Nigranai Dashu Dharmabhir. As Kali Yuga advances, we can see that these characteristics are already visible. So during Satya Yuga, no, this is not. This is the opposite. Actually, Dhruva Maharaj, he would empty his treasury. Whatever he has, whatever tax he collected from the people, he will use everything for the benefit of the people. It'll be like, emptied. That means whatever he takes, he gives. But nowadays, people will be taxed so heavily, and sometimes even it's not like equally, it's not fairly being applied to everyone. The poor becomes poorer, and the rich becomes richer. And sometimes, the rich people, they can bribe the government or they can give money under the table and they'll be free, scot-free. They will not be touched because government, they will take advantage of this. And instead of taxing the rich because they're the ones who get more of the big chunk of the pie, they're letting them go. It's just recently, we've heard, that Trump, the ex-US president, he rarely not paying tax at all. Very small amount in compared to the money that he collected for his own benefit or his family's benefit. It's just an example. So in those days, King Prithu or Dhruva Maharaj, because he became the emperor of the world, and he taxed the people, but then he will give back everything for the benefit of the people, so that people will be happy, prosperous, live long life. So what's happening right now is the opposite. The government, and we've heard even in news, they're the ones, the poor countries in the world, the leaders, somehow or other, they have billions and billions of dollars in a Swiss bank account. And their country is one of the poorest, but where do they get their money from? Well, how come they don't want to give it back to the citizens? Because they're the ones who usurp. They're the ones who, like what you may say, a daylight robbery. Even in the middle, like so obvious they're the ones who will take advantage. The characters, because again, Kali Yuga, blind leading the blind. So people they want to fulfill their desires, because if they elect someone who promised, yes, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that for you, for your own benefit, and then sometimes also to vote such candidates, they will bribe them also, they will buy vote. It's like some other countries, they have what we call flying voters. They will vote in one state, and then the next state, they will also vote. But they will vote a blind leader. A blind leader means someone who doesn't know the proper way how to rule, how to lead. But because he's very influential, he's very powerful because of money. In Kali Yuga, might is right. If you have money, then you can be powerful. But in return, this is what they get. People are unhappy. People are frustrated. They're not able to be exercise the real process, or they're not able to proceed to the goal of life, which is not to take birth again in this material world. So this kind of personalities in Kali Yuga, as it advances, says here, that these characters are becoming more and more visible. It's like some leaders, they like to take their position till the end of their life, even though they cannot rule, they cannot lead. So who suffers? It's the citizens who suffers. So it says here, we can certainly imagine how deteriorated human civilization will be by the end of Kali Yuga. We still have 427,000 years more before Kali Yuga ends. And as predicted by the Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada also, that this Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the process, will go on only for the next 10,000 years. But then this is the golden age, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, that anyone who will take advantage into the process of the Sankirtan, Yagya, this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, in the future also, within these 10,000 years, even though it is within Kali Yuga, where the signs of Kali Yuga, or the age of quarrel, is that this hypocrisy, chaos, life is short, people are easily disturbed, people are lazy. It's like in the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is very nicely described, the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Man and wife will get together, and marriage is just like only in a piece of paper. There is this survey done that marriage nowadays only lasts up to 8 years. This is the general consensus. And after that, no more. So marriage or weddings is just only in a piece of paper. This is generally what's going on. People will be short-lived. People will be at the age of 35 will be considered as already old as Kali Yuga progresses. The height will become shorter and shorter and shorter. The size or the height of human beings will be 3 feet tall. That is the highest or the tallest, unlike in Dwapara Yuga. They used to be like 14 feet tall. Or even previously, a few hundred years ago, people used to be like 7 feet tall. People will live underground. There'll be no sugar, no milk, no grains, is so degrading that people will eat each other. But Kali Yuga is very, very rapidly really approaching. As we can see, the whole world, there's war, just a little bit of commotion between each nation. There'll be a war. And we can see that. This is the sign of Kali Yuga. So we should take advantage, especially this Sankirtan Yagya of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the only answer whereby one can be not so much affected. Will not be able to completely stop the signs of Kali Yuga, but if one is within that golden age, the 10,000 years, then one will not be so much affected of what's going on in the whole world, because we know that those devotees who take shelter unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord or his pure representatives, then they will be protected. The nature of bhakti is eternal. And the result of bhakti is everlasting, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. So this is Kali Yuga. Indeed, there will be no longer be a sane man capable of understanding God and our relationship with him. By the end of 10,000 years, there is no more Haribol, Haribol, no more Hare Krishna Mahamantra. People will be so degraded. It's impossible. The modes of ignorance and passion will be so prevalent. No one will be able to understand the nature or the goal of life. It says here, there'll be no longer be a sane man. People will become so crazy. So crazy that it's not possible for them to understand what is the goal of life. In other words, human beings will be just like animals. You can see signs of this even nowadays. They act like animals. Two-legged animals. Not understanding the goal of life. Only concern is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. We're so fortunate somehow or other we come in contact with this Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu under the umbrella of Srila Prabhupada's International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Bhakti is not so easy, but we have to have faith or increase our faith day by day, become strong spiritually to tackle the elements of Kali Yuga. At that time, in order to reform human society, Lord Krishna will come in the form of the Kalki avatar. He'll be the last avatar in Kali Yuga. Unlike here in India, every day there is a born avatar. So many imposters, so many pretenders that they are the main savior. They're the main ones who can save the living beings in Kali Yuga. But no, in the scriptures, in the sastras, all of these specific incarnations of the Supreme Lord, scheduled incarnations of the Supreme Lord are clearly written, are described. Buddha, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's description is hidden, Gupta. Even in India, not many people are knowing that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. What to say of combined form of Radha and Krishna? They just know him as saintly personality from West Bengal. Nothing more than that. Most of them, practically. That's why here at Krishna Balaram Mandir, Srila Prabhupada, he established the Krishna Balaram Mandir to tell the whole world that there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, Lord Balaram and Lord Nityananda. So yes, Kalki will come as a Satriya with his sword. And if you can just picture the page, the dust cover of the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a picture there of Kalki avatar who will be like with his sword wide up in the sky and ready to slash the heads of these miscreants or these demons. Of course, they're very fortunate also because anyone who's been killed by the Supreme Lord also attains salvation. But why suffer? Why wait till the end of Kali Yuga and have more sufferings and miseries in this life? The process is so simple in this day and age. Just chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, offer your food to Lord Krishna, serve the Vaishnavas, don't offend any living entities. That includes the Vaishnavas and also the general class of people. And one can go back home, back to Godhead. One doesn't have to wait for salvation till the end of Kali Yuga. That's a lot of sufferings. 427,000 years more. So take advantage of this human form of life. So Kalki Avatar, this is his main business, is to kill all the atheists because ultimately the real protector is Vishnu or Krishna. The Lord incarnates and sets things in order when things are mismanaged by so-called kings and heads of government. Yada. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Says, becoming smaller and smaller, difficult to read. Of course, this takes many years, but the principle is there. When the king or government head does not follow, make it a little bit, the font. When a king or governmental head does not follow the proper principles, nature deals out of the, where are we now? Okay, stop playing now. I'm not able to follow if you keep changing. When the king or government head does not follow the proper principles, nature deals out of the punishment in the forms of war, famine, and so forth. So who's to be blamed if something is really happening really bad in the society? Well, ultimately, it is the responsibility of the leaders or the head of the governments, because if they're not able to implement the law of nature, the law of men, not the law of society. Law of society means like the regular law of the land. But there is a law of nature also that we need to follow. We have to understand, especially very, very prevalent is that slaughter of animals just to satisfy the taste buds. Because of slaughtering animals, Srila Prabhupada says that the result of this is war. When Srila Prabhupada was talking with Lieutenant Mossy, I think it's Mossy, in Chicago, that he was saying that if the crisis all over the world, especially war, will cease, will stop if we stop killing animals. That is the cause of war. Nowadays, there's still war, still not finished yet. The US government, they left Afghanistan. Now they're the Talibans who took over the government. And they're the ones who are responsible for so many chaos in the whole world, terrorism, and so on. So, in any case, the problem of the society ultimately can be solved if the leaders, along with proper advisors like brahmanas, satriyas means the leaders of the society, and they've been advised by the brahmanas. Brahmana iti brahman. Brahmanas means those who knows Brahman, the Supreme Lord. So by doing so, if they are being advised accordingly to the process whereby people can live peacefully and happily by following the laws of nature or laws of God, then everything will be prosperous. There'll be plenty of food and so on, and everyone will be happy, everyone will be peaceful. So if they don't understand how to rule the society, especially understanding that the supreme proprietor of everything is Lord Vishnu, he's the maintainer of everyone. The king, the father, and the garden are simply representatives of Lord Vishnu, empowered by him to look after the management and maintain things. No one will be happy. It'll be just always dissatisfaction of the general class of people, more sufferings and more miseries. So ideal kings or ideal government leaders knows how to implement the laws of God for the whole society to be prosperous and happy. That's why it says here, they have to teach that the supreme proprietor of everything is Lord Vishnu. Countries, they're just concerned about their own locale or their own political agendas. They're just concerned about their own benefit, for their own benefit, not even for the benefit of people. For the benefit of people, maybe like, few percentage, but not the ideal. The ideal kings, they even sacrifice their life. They sacrifice whatever they have for the benefit of the people because they are considered to be the father. The father sacrificed everything for the family. If they don't teach people that verse, Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvalokam aisvaram suridam sarvabhutanam yatramam shantim richati, then there'll be no peace. What is the form? That is the formula of peace. One cannot be happy if he is not peaceful. And how can he be peaceful? If he understands and realizes that Krishna is the supreme benefactor, that means he's the supreme enjoyer of all the sacrifices and austerities. Sacrifices means yajñartats karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. That the activities that one performs should always be for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, because he is the supreme proprietor. He is the supreme enjoyer. We are the enjoyed. We are the enjoyed. Krishna is the enjoyer, supreme enjoyer. So yes, it says here that it is therefore the duty of the head of the state to maintain the general populace in such a way that people will ultimately know the goal of life. This is the number one duty of the head of the government. And Jada Bharat was saying to Rahugana, you're not ideal, you're cruel. Why are you not giving the people or those who are carrying the palanquin their due? You have to reciprocate. The citizens work, then the government also should reciprocate to the work of the citizens to keep the society going. Nate vido swartagatim hi Vishnu. Unfortunately, the foolish government head and the general populace do not know that the ultimate goal of life is to understand and approach Lord Vishnu. Without this knowledge, everyone is in ignorance and all society is crowded with cheaters and cheated. That's the story of this world. This world is full of miseries and it is Mrityuloka. It is the place of death. Mrityuloka, or the planet of death. And there's no way we can get out of this if we don't take shelter unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And the best way of how to take shelter unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord is to engage in Sankirtan Yagya, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Do you have any question or point into this?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Where are you?
I'm here right in your lotus feet, Maharaj.
Raj,
Hare
Dash.
Krishna.
King.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Raj means king, right? You're servant of.
I am servant, Maharaj. Dasanu
Krishna,
Dasanu Das.
Krishna is the supreme king.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes,
I am servant, menial servant, Maharaj. Very nice class, Maharaj. Thank you so much. It's scary to think even in 10,000 years there will be no Harinam, there will be no Bhagavatam classes, there will be there'll be no chanting. It's scary to think even, just fire of material existence. What we saying, Sansara Dava Nalilide Loka. It's scary to think, Maharaj. It's so scary. Maharaj, very beautiful class. Thank you so much. We would like to open the call for the question, dear devotees. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead, raise your hand or unmute yourself. Thank you.
Or you can write your question in the chat. Anyone is listening? Or they just open up and then, yes.
No, Maharaj, we are all here listening to you, Maharaj. Very beautiful class. Thank you so much for such a beautiful, beautiful class.
It's okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. And as Raja Prabhu just said, it is very scary to think about what will happen as Kali Yuga advances. And I often think about it myself, when I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam. The question that I have is because my desire as an aspiring devotee, I'm still just trying, not only, for myself, but for others as well, not just my family members in my community, but for as many as in the whole world. What is the best way for us, again, as aspiring and neophyte and, devotees, what is the best way for us to help others to bring, I know we have Harinam and, we do all of these things, but I just want to hear from you. What is the most effective way to help bring others to Krishna consciousness and spread this message so that we can get as many people out as possible, as soon as possible?
Well, first thing first is that we should be strong spiritually. We should have a very strong foundation. We should be a good example. Set ourselves to be good example for others. There's a saying, what? Example is better than precept, right? So if you somehow, with your eagerness to help others, to give them Krishna consciousness, first you become very, very strong spiritually. Then you will be more effective. It's like with one stroke or one, just like even your very presence, you will be able to make an impact to those whom you will meet. So chant your rounds sincerely, attentively, especially in the morning. Be ideal, an ideal housewife or family yourself. There's a saying, family, what's that? Charity starts at home. So before we can go bigger and bigger, it's like Prabhupada, he prepared a lifetime of preparation. 69 years old. Who will cross the ocean to spread Krishna consciousness at the age of 69, at the age of 70? That's why he was so empowered. You can be effective in your preaching or your outreach by having very strong faith in Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. To your spiritual master, be very chaste, follow the instructions in toto, always be in the service mood of the Vaishnavas, and pray to the Supreme Lord that you somehow become even small, that you can affect, even in a small way, others whom you will meet. And if you have that desire, Krishna will fulfill that. Your faith will go stronger and stronger. You become spiritually strong every day. Then just by seeing you, and if you speak, it'll be very effective. It'll touch their hearts, whomever you meet. It's not like, it's like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, he's so happy, even one of his disciples will distribute even one pamphlet. So have Srila Prabhupada's books in your, when you go shopping, distribute food, or distribute, you have some cookies, make some cookies or prasadam at home. And when you say, oh, this is organic, have a taste, something like that. When you meet some nice people, when you go outside. And yes, be strong and be a good example yourself. That is a very, very effective way how to touch others, their hearts, and they will be convinced to take the process also seriously. Okay?
Okay, Maharaj, thank you. You always give such beautiful instructions. I'm very grateful for your class and your association, and happy Radhastami to you as well. Hare Krishna.
Advance. Lalita Sasti. There is a question here. Okay, it's a compliment. The age of time where all should be thinking to go to Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan for all humanity, sacrifice himself for us. Well, Vrindavan is consciousness. If you are engaged in Krishna's service without any pretensions, without any self-motivation, without any vested interest, and only your activities is meant to serve the Supreme Lord or his devotees and your Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, you are in Vrindavan. Even if you are in Sharjah or United Arab Emirates or USA or North Carolina or anywhere, That is Vrindavan. Vrindavan is also within your heart. Krishna is present within your heart. You just have to prepare the heart to be cleansed by watering the Bhakti Lata beach with hearing and chanting every day. Then you are also in Vrindavan. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my
Vrindavan, right?
humble.
It's too difficult. That means the Boma Vrindavan, which is 2 hours away from Delhi. You can be where you are, and that is Vrindavan also. Yes, anything else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, as you said to Mataji, Tiffany Mataji, that we should be sincere ourselves and we can set an example, right? Maharaj, my problem is if I get sincere, the pride also comes in. So how do I remain sincere and keep the pride away, Maharaj?
Pride will not come in if you are sincere. If your only main purpose is really to please the Supreme Lord, Srila Prabhupada, the Vaishnavas, that pride will not come in. You become proud when you think that you are doing service. But if you are genuinely doing service, you cannot do genuine service if you are not humble. But humility and service is like synonymous. You cannot serve if you're not humble. If you're not humble, you cannot serve. So if somehow becoming proud creeps in, you'll be able to check yourself immediately. A neophyte, he just wants to show off because he's not doing it sincerely. A neophyte, he has so many material desires. So it should go side by side. Serve without any pretensions. Serve with all humility. And the Supreme Lord within will help you to become more and more advanced. And the more you become advanced, you will not be proud. Prabhupada says, it's okay to be proud that you are a devotee. That, oh, I'm a devotee and others are not devotees. But if you don't preach, if you don't share what you have to the conditioned souls, then the being proud, you'll become envious. But being a devotee who's proud that he's a devotee, but at the same time, he's helping others to advance in Krishna consciousness, envy will not come. Because you want to help. You want to help others to improve their life. If your purpose is just to help others, really, genuinely, you will not be proud. It's not possible. It doesn't, there's no correlation there. You will always be humble if you want to help others, especially for them to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. Do you understand?
Yes, Maharaj, very clearly. Thank you so much for those words, Maharaj. Very grateful, Maharaj. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Maharaj.
Okay, well, we have how many minutes for Lalita Sashti? Well, we're observing Lalita Sashti, means the appearance day of Lalita. In 2 days' time.
Maharaj, you can go next 10-15 minutes.
10-15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Lalita, she is the leader of the gopis under Srimati Radharani. Well, Srimati Radharani is the topmost gopi. Okay? But then Radharani, she has her assistants. And the main two assistants of Radharani is Lalita and Vishaka. So Lalita is sometimes, she is called Anuradha. Anuradha means one who's always with Radharani, behind Radharani, or following Radharani. And her mood is that sometimes she would reprimand Krishna. Oh, why are you late, or why are you behaving like this? You should not behave like this towards our Thakurani, Srimati Radhika. She is like what, 27 days older than Srimati Radharani, because she took birth first, but then according to Titi, she is 2 days, 2 days older than Radharani, because she took birth first. So somehow or other, she's like 14 years old and some months, her eternal age. She is also the incarnation of Lalita is Sarup Damodar, who also assisted Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during his pastimes 500 years ago in Gaura Leela. She took birth in a place called Karela. It says here, Karela. And then later on, her father brought her to Uchagaon. Uchagaon is near Varshana, the place of her pastimes, Leela Stali. And yes, there are many evidences of her pastimes there. It says here, there's a rock which is has imprints of her lotus feet, and also some of the imprints of the utensils that she used for helping or cooking to feed Krishna. So I've seen that. I've seen that in Uchagaon, Lalita Sasti Day also. We would go a few years ago. And when the sun rays kind of like go directly to that rock, it's like really shiny, very shiny. So all of Srimati Radhika's Sakis used to play with Krishna and Lalita in Uchagaon. This is the place. This is the Leela Stali. That means this is the pastimes place of Lalita Devi. Each and every Sakis, main Sakis, 8 of them, they have their own villages in Braj. So yes, one time the gopis arranged pastime whereby they kind of like have a special arrangement for Lalita and Krishna to be married. But this is not real marriage. We should not misunderstood this as real marriage. It's just like, kids playing. It's like play. I don't know if you have that when you were young. I don't think so, but for Radha and Krishna and their associates, they have this kind of play where it's like also one time the marriage, the enaction or enacted marriage between Radhika and Krishna. And this is called Gandharvika marriage. So yes, she is very protective of Srimati Radharani. She would say sometimes, Radharani, you should behave like this in front of Krishna. It's like telling her how to act, how to behave in front of Krishna, so that because Krishna is always teasing her, Radharani, and doing all these funny tricks. So Lalita's says here that Lalita is 27 days elder than Radharani, okay? And she generally has the same loving mood towards both Radha and Krishna, yet she is more inclined towards Srimati Radhika. This is very, very special because Lalita Devi, she's wearing a collar. It says here, she's contradictory. She's well known for her contradictory and hot-tempered nature. Unlike one of the queens in Dwarka, they're submissive, like Rukmini and Satyabhama, they're submissive. So her complexion is the color of Gorochana, bright yellow pigment prepared from the urine of a cow. That's her color, yellowish. And her garments are the color of peacock plumes of the peacock, you know, like almost like having eyes. And says here, oh yes, her main assistant is Rupa Manjari, who is none other than Rupa Goswami. Rupa Manjari is the main assistant of Lalita Shakhi. So those who are followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, that means who is none other than Rupa Goswami, they're also followers of Lalita Devi. Yeah, Lalita Sakhi incarnated as Sarup Damodhar in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I will read you just the few stanzas here of Lalita Ashtakam by Srila Rupa Goswami, and this will conclude our meeting today. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She worships the perspiration of Shri Radha, Mukunda's lotus feet, and acts boldly out of intense feelings of friendship for them. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. Her face defeats the beauty of the ambrosial corona of the full moon. Her eyes are like those of an alarmed deer, and she is expert in the art of decorating Shri Radhika. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She wears a wonderful silk dress colored like a peacock with outstretched feathers, as well as a nice blouse, and her complexion defeats the golden splendor of Gorochana. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She teaches Shri Radhika the art of a left-wing heroine, saying, Radhe, firmly reject this shrewd son of the king of Braj. O immoral girl, listen, don't be weak. I'm saying it for your own good. Don't submit to him. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. Her eyes become red with anger if she sees the son of the king of Braj cheating Shri Radhika even slightly. Then she will promptly embarrass him with her clever words. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She is the abode of affection for the queen of cowherders. Yashoda, she is the teacher of the art of friendship for all the Sakhis, and her love for Shri Radhika and Krishna is equal. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She requests every girl in Braj to join the party of Vishabhanu's daughter, and who fulfills all desires of that girl or of Shri Radhika. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. All her desires were at once fulfilled when she saw the path of Shri Radha in Braj being blocked by a certain person. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She always enjoys the festival of Radha and Brajendra Shutas meeting, and she is the chief of all Radha's dear girlfriends in Gokul. Anyone who recites these prayers praising Lalita's wonderful qualities with a pure vision will be lovingly counted amongst her own friends or maidservants by Shri Radhika, the brilliant desire vine of the family of the Lord of Kirtida, King Vishabhanu. So that's description of Lalita Devi. She's like a protector of Srimati Radharani and how to deal with Krishna, but in a loving mood. We cannot be like in that mood with just like Sri Lalita Devi. We can follow in the footsteps of Lalita Devis and how equally she just wants to serve both. But in the way how she served Srimati Radharani is very special. That's why she is the leader of all the assistants of Srimati Radharani in serving both Radha and Krishna. Do you understand?
Yes, Maharaj, very beautiful, very beautiful.
We can just let's say appreciate. We can just appreciate and glorify her, because for us to understand her real mood in our present condition is very difficult. How can she reprimand Krishna? Well, that we cannot do, right? How can she do that? But because out of love, because it says that love is greater than Krishna himself, in such a way that Krishna becomes subordinate, because Krishna wants to please his devotees. And this is how his devotees wants to serve the Supreme Lord. That relationship actually is not a fault, that the prem of his devotees puts Krishna as subordinate, seemingly submissive to his devotees. But actually, this is embellishment. These are like ornaments of the qualities of Lord Krishna. If this is not present, then Krishna is not God. Do you understand? How can Krishna, being bound by Mother Yasoda, how come the cowherd boys will ride on the shoulders of Lord Krishna? He is the supreme mighty, he is the Lord, he is Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan, but they can do that because Krishna allows it. Because this is one of the main qualities of Lord Krishna, Bhakta Vatsala. He pleases his devotees. He wants to please his devotees. So by pleasing his devotees, even though his position seemingly to become lower or subordinate, he let them do it to him because of the love of his devotees towards him. Is that clear?
Very beautiful, Maharaj. Very beautiful. Such a beautiful class, and on the top you gave us the bonus of Lalita Devi. Beautiful, amazing. Just when you were saying Lalita again and again, and we pay our obeisances, the heart was feeling so nice. We cannot reach Krishna and Radha without all these great personalities, Lalita Devi, and being Rupanugas, and just follow the footstep of our acharyas. It's amazing, Maharaj. Thank you so much for this bonus on the top of the beautiful class. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are very grateful to you, Maharaj, for all your time and your services to this mission. we look forward for your association again in the future. Please enlighten us again whenever you have time, and give us your association. All the devotees, please let us pay our obeisances to Maharaj. Vancha kalapataru bhashya kripa
Sindhu cha patitanam
Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo namo
namo
namo.
namah.
I have a request.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Yes, Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Your video. I want to see if
Oh,
there you are.
dear devotees, please turn the video on. Maharaj wants to bless us.
Or you are sleeping. I don't know.
No, Maharaj, we are not sleeping.
Okay, only half of you. Only half.
I could not add more spotlights because it's only allowing minimum, I think. As many of them are on video, Maharaj. If you go on to the gallery view, you can view that.
Oh, I have gallery view right now, and still half of them are not turning on. I can see their names, but I won't see the faces. I may not be able to remember your names, but if I see your faces, I'm sure I'll be able to recognize next time I see you.
That is so amazing, Maharaj. If you can recognize us.
Others are very shy, no problem. Next time is the other way around, okay? They will turn on those and others will turn on. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
Bhakti Anugraha Maharaj Swami. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, koti dandavat pranam.
Pranam Maharaj, humble obeisance.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. We'll end the call here.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.